Hi Flosstube, this is Amanda. I'm Pennington Terrace on Flosstube and Instagram, where I post a lot of my stitchy photos. It's been a little while since I've been on here, so I owe you all a stitchy update. Seeing as I am a voracious viewer of everyone else's Flosstube, I feel like I need to feed the beast and share back. Very small life update. We're coming into spring here in Brisbane. It's been incredibly pleasant weather. I'm thinking all of you guys in the US with all of your terrible fires at the moment, and September 11 weekend, which is obviously such a big day for you guys. So thinking of everybody on the other side of the planet. Here I've managed to finally kick out my husband and gremlins for the morning. You know when puppies get really excited and they get the zoomies, I think they call it. That's pretty much my 5-year-old and 4-year-old this morning, who were just having a ball, but it was all imaginative play. So they weren't asking for the television, they weren't asking for screen time. So as annoyingly crazy as they were, it was a really good problem to have. So hubby has kindly gone, I will take them to the park, then I will take them grocery shopping. So let's face it, he's a pretty brave man. And then I was like, yes, I've got time. I quickly ironed the kids' school clothes, and then I've ironed all of my WIPs for you. So I'm essentially, I was going to do a WIP update, but it's essentially going to be another WIP parade, because I've touched almost all of my WIPs since my last video. I think there may be 2, but I thought if I can't remember, then maybe you guys can't remember. So we'll go with that. I've got my tablet here to show you the projects, what the final project would look like. So fingers crossing that we're not going to get too much glare. So I will start with what I fondly call the love of my life, Cheryl Baker. And she's no longer licensed with HAED, so I think at the start of September was your last opportunity to buy a Cheryl Baker project. But this is Professor McCrumb, my eccentric rabbit. Sorry for the glare, you can see out my back window. Love him, plugging away at him. I'm just over 6% with him. Let's have a look. And there he is. So because I use Pattern Keeper, I don't restrict myself to specific pages, so I just go by count to say how many pages I've done. So this is creeping up to 3 pages. I think I've got 2,000 more stitches and I'll reach 24,000. So, and I really want to start another full coverage project, but I have 2 on the go at the moment, and I've committed to completing another page on each project before I will start another full coverage project. So that's Professor McCrumb, 25 count magic, is that what they call it? Lugana 1/1 full cross. That's Professor McCrumb. So next over here, I'm just going to go by my pile over here. I've got Bella Filipina, Enchantress of the Abyss. Oh, this is what she'll look like. Here, the beauty. Those purples in that hair is just magic. First time really beading. I practiced on a mill hill, which I'll show you before I had a crack at here. So, and this is where I'm up to. I have moved the Q-snap a little bit, so behind this Q-snap here is a tiny little bit more hair. But you can see I've started some beads in here. I've used some, this is my first time using Caron water lilies as well, which is going to be in the bouquet here. First time using Krynic. This is a needle minder from Lisa Loves Stitching in Brisbane, so I thought it was perfect, it matched her tail as well. And this is a little freebie needle minder from JK. And this is a Harry Potter grime guard from Teaser Handmaids. The fabric is Colour Cascades, which is based in Perth, Australia. It's a 32 count Lugana in the colourway Oceans, and I'm doing this on 2/2 with all the DMC. So it's my first mermaid as well. What have I got here? Now, this next one, I'm going to seek your opinion, stitchy friends. I'm actually considering, and you'll see when I show you this, it will make sense, but I'm considering keeping this to one square, picking out the other square and making it into a biscornu rather than complete the whole project. This is World Houses. Oh, I've just had a mind blank on the name. It will come to me in a second. Dear Rine, D-E-A-R, Dear Rine Design. It's a Dutch designer. I had to go to the Dutch website and purchase this. I just did a Google Translate, and the lady was very lovely and sent me a PayPal invoice. I think it was 10 or 15 euro, and she emailed the pattern to me straight away. It's a beautiful pattern. Inspired by Anne from the Mittagong Stitches Retreat. She did this in beautiful, like all in red on a white fabric. She's Hooks with an E on Instagram. You should follow her. She does amazing, amazing work. So that's the project. And I did it on 22 count Hardanger. I'm stitching this with Jay from Jay's X Stitch. And I'm using Silks for You in a gold, a teal and a grape. But I'm considering unpicking this and using this as a biscornu rather than completing the whole huge project. And you'll see what I mean in my next lot of whips, because I haven't finished this here. I just need to finish the rest of the tree, but you'll see what I mean. I have so many BAPs, big beat projects, and this is probably my least favorite to work on, and I think it's because of the 22 count Hardanger. I think it's just that little bit too small to appreciate the design. Although whenever I pull it out, I love the way it looks. I just struggled to stitch on it. So, and I don't know if that's because the silk's so smooth to work with, but tell me what you think. I think it would be a beautiful little biscornu. I should ask Gail Phillips, the biscornu queen. But yeah, I'm not sure how many whips I'm up to now. 1, 2, is that only 3? Okay. This one, Mill Hill, Santa, Genoa, Santa. On the perforated paper. My first time beading, my first Mill Hill kit. He's got one of those lovely fluffy moustaches. I took him on holiday. I'm not sure, this uses three threads over 2 and only 2 threads for the beads. I'm enjoying the beading. I just don't get much enjoyment out of, no, I do enjoy it, that's a fib. I don't get the same amount of enjoyment from small projects as I do from my big projects. Sometimes I feel like the hours that I put into these small ones, I could be progressing on my big ones. I don't know, it's a very personal thing, isn't it? But no, I'll whip him back out at some point. Maybe I'm going away for a week soon, so maybe I'll just take him on my holiday and I'll work on him in the car. So there's that one. Sampler September. I wonder if I have a picture of this one. I may not. Hold please, and I will look for you. But this is Sarah. Oh my goodness, I can't even remember. It's a Fox and Rabbit design sampler. I will quickly look it up. But anyway, here it is here. Fox and Rabbit design, Sarah Newsom, I think. I'll Google it for you now. It's on a 36 count. 36 count. Ah, I'm having a terrible Flosstube mind blank. It's not Silver Moon. It's a 36 count Edinburgh linen. I'm using DMC 1/2. All of the letters are 1/1, and you probably can't see the detail here, but there's going to be a little peacock bird here. He's also 1/1. I'm not sure if you're gonna get the focus there. Fox and Rabbit Designs, my first real sampler, so this will have a border. I'll see if I can find the cover page before the end of my Flosstube for you. I'm still not talented enough to be able to insert images to make all this pain go away, but stand by and I'll see what I can do. So that's my first sampler. I have been working on, so this is what I consider to be my first beautiful lady. So if people are stitching these beautiful mirabilias, and I do have one in the back of my mind that I'd really like to start, but this is Nimue's Guinevere that I'm stitching at the moment. Vintage Country Mocha, first time using this. I purchased her and Vintage Country Mocha from Journey of a Stitcher. I went hunting. There's some fancy French floss in here, which I purchased from a French Etsy store. It did get stuck in the COVID mail jam, but other than that, the store was fantastic, and it's certainly not their fault. And it arrived safe and sound eventually anyway. So Guinevere's Nimue. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon, Nimue's Guinevere. And I studied Le Mort d'Art in university, so I had this really strong affiliation when I saw the image and really wanted to stitch her. So here she is. In real life, these, you have to really trust the designer. They feel very yellow, but when you see her, she's just beautiful. So I spent some time on her face this time, and you'll see the lips and the details in the nose here, and I'm just starting on the eyes. She looks a bit creepy now that I think about it. The detail in that face is 1/1. And I try and backstitch as I go, so you'll see I've backstitched the chain and some of the gold chain on her dress there. There is one mistake in the chart with a DMC colour where they've listed the number that doesn't exist, but there's so many blends that when I went hunting in the blends, I found they have it listed correctly when the two threads are listed together. So I was relieved. I was like, oh, thank goodness that solved that problem for me. So that's, yeah, Nimue's Guinevere. I had a very impromptu start with the Owl Forest Embroidery Sal with the 100 owls. I went hunting in my stash and I found a 32 count Bay Rum fabric Flair Evenweave. Loved it. Thought it would work perfectly. I did have an XJU green. It wasn't big enough and it was probably a little bit too bright, but here I'm up to part 2. Part 3 came out, so if I finish part 3 now by the end of the week, I should be ready to go for part 4. So I'm almost caught up essentially. Love it. Very simple, very easy to follow. The patterns are lovely, and this is my first Owl Forest embroidery. So, okay, I'm pulling my projects over. So now I'm getting to my big projects. So bear with me as I try and bring them over. I'm not sure, this might show up a bit blurry, but this is the blue flower, the colour of winter. I purchased this from Journey of a Stitcher in Melbourne, wow, maybe July last year. I took this piece to the Mittagong Stitches Retreat, but I've been slowly plugging away at this one. This is with Sampler September. I've made it. I commute on the train to work every day, only half an hour, 40 minutes on the train. I don't have a long train commute. I'm lucky with that, but I try and change my train project weekly or fortnightly, but I've been focusing on this for Sampler September, so this is where I'm up to. I've done this on now this is a 28 count, which is a bit big for me. It's just what was the blue called? Like a Delft blue, an antique pale blue. I purchased it from Witchetty Stitchy on eBay, and I really like, it's a UK store with very, very reasonable shipping, but I'll bring you in a little bit closer. Look, you can see through the fabric, so you can see my threads at the back there. I wonder if I can, what have I got? Helpful at all? A little bit. Love the colours in this. They're just so much fun. This has the 09 colour in it, which I thought, oh, that's what everyone's having problems with their HAED. So you can see I've added the U in the colour for the Australian British way of spelling, and that was not difficult to adjust at all in terms of spacing. It was just to add a couple of stitches on either side, and it fits still very comfortably. So this is I've started the woman's dress down here, but on the train this week I've been, let's see if I can fix this for you, working on this corner with this bird. Yeah, so I really, I think Cupcake Stitch has been working on this as well. I'm about to finish my first skein of 930, which is the blue border and the words. So this on 28 count, this choose through DMC, but I'm really loving this. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it though. I'm going to frame it and put it somewhere. I haven't thought that one through to conclusion. So, yep, The Colour of Winter by The Blue Flower. Here's my second full coverage piece. This is my HAED, Josephine Wall. Alexandra's Flight of Wonder. You're probably all sick of hearing me. The girl's hair in here is essentially my daughter's hair, which I brush daily. So I had a very strong affection to that hair, which led me to this. I'm doing this on 18 count Aida, antique white Aida, 2/1, so using 2 threads, full cross stitch. It's a mini. So I've completed, I'll bring it out and show you so it'll make sense when I'm talking to you. I've completed approximately, well, I've done the top row. So that is almost 5 pages across the top, and I'm starting on this page down here. So once I finish that page down the bottom, I've got a couple of thousand stitches to go, and you can see the birds. So I'll just bring it in a bit closer for you so you can see. I think with all HAEDs, these all look beautiful, just that little step back, but gives you an idea. Just beautiful. So yeah, that's coming along really well. You know when projects are calling to you, this one's been calling to me, so I might put this one back in the queue snap now for my train. I find that it fits perfectly into my backpack on an 8x8 with my tablet. So the train stitching with this is not so bad at all, but yeah, Josephine Wall is pretty confetti heavy. I should have joined the Confetti Conquistadors with Spartan Stitcher and Co, but that's my HAED. That's my second full coverage piece. What have I got? Now, this is the one I couldn't remember if I had stitched on this since I last spoke to you guys, but I thought I'd whip it out anyway. Oop. Hold please. This is Autumn Cat Sampler by Kooler Design Studio. I loved these series, and Lindy Stitches tipped me over the edge when I saw her finished piece. I'm doing this on 18 count antique white Aida with 2 threads. And this is where I'm up to. Oop, there you go. But can I fit it all in? There you are. The detail on this and the back stitching. It's one of those ones where you do so much and you feel like you don't progress far, but I've been working up here in this corner. The sunflower section is finished. That cat is fabulous. Amazing design, really. And there's the pheasant, which I originally called a turkey. Canadian maple. Detail, detail, detail. I have to really be in the mood for this one to pull this out. But very autumnal, which all my stitchy friends know is really my vibe. Okay, what have I got here? Next up I've got Luca S. Strawberries. This started off as a Sal. Here we are. Now, this is the one where I put the fabric the wrong way in the Q-snap and did too much to change it. So I've had to cut it off here. So that's, sorry, rude fingers. That's what it will look like in the end. So it's still, I'll pull it out and you'll see what I mean. So it still looks like a full piece, but I can't quite fit it on. So I don't know if I'm gonna try and put the little snail somewhere down here to keep him on the chart or not, but this is for my auntie. She's not a stitcher, so she's highly unlikely to know that the little ends are off, but I'll show you. I've done this. I didn't use the kit Aida. I used 32 count white Belfast linen. I think I bought a huge piece from Spotlight, but this is, I really don't have much to go. And the more I look at this off the Q-snap and in the daylight, the more I just love it. Luca S, look, I just love the blends. I love it so much. It takes time stitching it though. It's quite detailed. It's deceptively detailed, I think. But you can see where I've cut off there. I'll just have enough to frame it. So I'm just working on this side here. It's one of those things that you hear Flosstubers say all the time. If I just put a little bit of time into it, it'll be done. So my auntie's birthday, and she's one of those beautiful aunties where she'll cook you an amazing meal. Her table will be dressed immaculately because she just has that style. She's one of those women who can wear, you know, those women on the beach who wear those amazingly huge hats and look phenomenal. And if I tried to wear one of those huge floppy hats, I would look like an absolute doofus. She can pull anything off. So this is, she asked for something with a splash of red. That was the only thing she gave me to work with, a splash of red. So here she has her splash of red. I think it will look perfect in her kitchen, but I had to be really particular about the chart to fit her style because she's a classy lady. There's a little bit of background. Sorry if I'm oversharing. Okay. This is Carolyn Manning Designs, and remember when Flosstube was doing Spotlight on designers? A Stitchy Bug did, she's a UK based Flosstuber. I haven't seen her online for a long time now and I keep checking back. She did Carolyn Manning. And I loved the chart that she showed. So this was Secret Summer Garden Labyrinth. It's on a yellowish fabric. I chose to do it on 32 count white Belfast. A theme maybe for me. And here's where I'm up to now. Oh, you can see, when I look at this here in the video, you can see the color changes. There you are. So much work in this one. I took this away to Magnetic Island on our last holiday, so I should take this one away. This one's for my mum. And I have the frame already, so I was just showing hubby the proposed frame for this to see if it would work, and I think it will. It's square, it's a square design. This one's been around the world, so I started this in Vanuatu in holidays last Australian winter. Like everybody else around the world, no travel at the moment. We can travel in Queensland, so that's where we'll go next week. But yeah, Carolyn Manning Designs, 32 count, all DMC, using 2 threads, 2 over 2. This is a Sal. We're calling it the Alice's Back Sal, when Ori TM brought back her Alice chart. I was originally inspired by the lovely Mitch Stitch. I loved her chart from the get-go. I'm doing this with Emily, with Debbie Wilson, with Mel Patchy Pony, Nadine from Nad's X Stitch. Are you still doing this? It's like an Alice Quaker. I'm using a Jay's fabric from Jay's X Stitch on Etsy. I'm going to link everything below. This is Spun Sugar. It's a very, as always, it's the lighting doesn't do it justice. It's a very, very pale pink, like a blush pink, just beautiful. 36 count. I am doing 2 over 2, which is normally a bit bulky for me, but because it's only motifs, I don't mind the bulk in this. The door was a bit full coverage, so that's when I felt the bulk a little bit too much, but there's nothing else. And look, I've only done one of the little twins. I drive people crazy because I jump from motif to motif without finishing them, but that's the only way I really stay sane with my stitching, so we all have our funny quirks. But I don't intend on filling, see the big mustard? Oop. The big mustard full coverage part of that background. Can I show you there? I don't intend on filling that. I saw Emily just did it without filling it and it looked fantastic, so I'm going to steal that idea. I've told her. Yep, so that's hashtag Alice's Back Sal. I don't have the cover page for this one. Let me have a look. Stand by, please. I have. Yes, I do. You all know it and you all love it anyway. The Shores of Hawk Run Hollow. I have had this on my wish list for a while. I don't know if you guys have seen, I stitched by the little stitcher Moby Dick. Moby Dick was one of my favourite novels, and I've only read it recently in life and I loved it. And I grew up on the south coast of Australia in the ocean. We try and swim in the ocean as frequently as we can. So ocean theme is my thing. I made Moby Dick for my dad, who still lives by the ocean, and I intend on stitching this for him too. And I was prompted really to make this happen for Gail Phillips' birthday sale. I'll put the hashtag for that below, and there's a big group of us doing it. She's doing the shores as well. And I was looking for a piece of fabric that I had in my stash that was big enough, and I had a piece of 32 count Lugana Picture This Plus in Mystic, and I thought, oh, maybe it will work. And I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased with the color. My sun is just changing on me here, sorry, so it's a little bit glary here, sorry. So I finished block 1, I've started block 2, so you can see I've started the seaweed, but because I've done it, I've chosen to do this on a blue fabric. I've done a little bit of back stitching in the windows of the lighthouse. And the designer actually saw, I posted a picture of this first block finished on Instagram, and the designer commented on the post that she loved the fabric choice, and I was like, oh, I got excited that the designer liked it. So Deb Wilson said to me that I should print off that Instagram comment and put it on the back of my project when I finish it. But let's face it, it's a huge project. It's going to take a million years. So, but she's not wrong. It's a good idea. Okay, one more whip, guys. You're doing well. This is one of my longest videos. Oh my goodness, half an hour. I usually only last 15 minutes. I'm doing this one as my wedding sampler. So for my husband just doesn't get cross stitch. He doesn't. I say to him, do you like this? Do you like this? What do you like? And he doesn't like old school, but he doesn't like modern, and he's just, I don't know, fussy in his taste of things like that. So I found it really, really hard to find something that would really resonate with both of us. So I ended up going with Long Dog Sampler Castle in the Air. That's what it will look like finish. So my 10th wedding anniversary is February next year, so I'm pushing for a February finish for this. And here's where I am. This is, hold on, I'm trying to get this right for you. This is an XJuDesign fabric 32 count Lugana in Seastorm. I am using Silks for You, a white hank of Silks for You. I'm still using over two for this. Again, if it was full coverage, it'd be too bulky, but because it's motif, I'm really enjoying the coverage. So, and I like how it contrasts to the one thread of back stitching. And with this one, you'll see I back stitch as I go. I've almost finished that elephant there. That will say 2011 for the year I was married. The details, oh, I love this. There's the S for hubby and the A for me. Again, I kind of just take I follow where the thread takes me for this. I don't follow page by page, but if I look at the pages on my PDF, I've probably worked into 6 pages. So, and I jump around all the time on this one. I'll just move the Q-snap out of whim, because these, like this line here, becomes so repetitive that I have to move and do something else, and then I'll come back to it, and I'll move to something else, and I'll come back to it. I think it's the same with my motif stitching. I'm quite happy to jump around a little bit. So yeah, so that's pretty much all of my whips. So you got another WIP Parade. I've been stitching online with Jay and Tess from Tess Stitches, and we wanted to do a sale together, and we have really vastly different tastes in stitching, so it took us a long time, and we jumped on the HAED sale, and we looked for a HAED that we could potentially even cut into 3 and do a third piece each. So sometimes if you do a third of it, it looks beautiful standalone. Couldn't find anything, and we ended up finding a trilogy, or I'm not sure if it's technically a triptych, but it's a trilogy, and we'll do a piece each. The bridge, Mount Fuji. Let's see if I can fit the third one in. There we go. So that's what they look like, the 3 pieces. I'm leaning towards keeping this one, Jay. Tess definitely has bags this one, and I might send this one to Jay. Let me know if it's not the one you want, Jay. And that comes with everything, including the beads. I can hear the little white beads in there. So yeah, looking forward to starting that. I bought that from My Bobbin. I've had really good luck with My Bobbin, but while I was on there, I bought 2 more kits. I've been looking at them. And when we committed to doing this trilogy, I thought, well, I'll add them to my cart. I've had big problems with that this month of adding to cart. Love this. Oop, go away, glare. The reindeer with the village in his antlers. Don't ask me when I'm going to start this. I have too many projects already. All the fabric. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. All the floss and the fabric comes with it. I also saw someone doing this on Flosstube, the enabling Flosstube, and couldn't help myself. Sorry, Claire. Just magnificent when you see it stitched. All there. I got some stitchy kindness from Gail Phillips. She's lovely, and you can tell it came from her because look at the postcard she sent me. And it's the apples in the Luke S. So when I finish my strawberries, I can pick up the apples. So now I have apples and the mandarins as well. And this time I'll make sure my fabric is going in the right direction. And I'll make all of you guys hold me accountable to check that. But thank you very much, Gail. I love them and I will stitch them. I also picked up, we don't do very well with stash unloads here in Australia. Oh wait, one more stitchy kindness. I'm jumping around. Deb Wilson sent me these. London Country Cottage Needleworks. I have someone in mind that I'd like to stitch this for. Paris. I have someone in mind that I'd like to stitch this for. I feel like it's one of those small projects though that's going to take me forever once I start. You know, when they have like a lot more to them than you think. It says it's 207 by 63. The 63 is not very tall, but thank you, Deb. They are very cared for, and I will send them back your way when I stitch them. Yeah, I feel like Australia doesn't do fantastically with stash unload, so whenever I do splurge on a stash unload on Facebook, I get excited. I picked up this one. This is all Nadine from Nad's X-Stitch Fault. I think it's Madonna of the Garden. No, English Roses by Nora Corbett. It's a Mirabilia. And this is the one that has those satin ribbon roses. Eep. Deb, if you're watching, I might bother you to help me find some beads, flowers that I can use that I will just sew on rather than doing the ribbons. I'm not brave enough. And you have an amazing site for beads and things and tokens and charms. I picked up this one. I really liked it. Fairy Tale Sampler. I don't know if you can see the castle and the dragon, but it says, once upon a time is how most fairy tales start. Then add a questing maiden or a knight so pure of heart. Sometimes there is a treasure, princely frog or magic blade, dangers to be conquered or long journeys to be made. Yet strength and courage triumph to the enemy's chagrin. The questing soul discovers that the hero lies within. Sucker for a good fairy tale in this house. I bought these two for a couple of dollars. The Lavender and Lace ladies. Autumn and spring. I think autumn is my favourite. And there was something about this that made me, oops, I'm sorry, that was probably incredibly loud and I apologise. It was just something that kept drawing me back to this, and I just said, well, if I keep coming back to this, I'm gonna nab it. So Church Street. I have to even look. Barbara and Cheryl, book 25. Barbara and Cheryl Inc. quite, what year it was published. Does it say? 1992. But there was just something about this that got me. I didn't spend much for that either. I also picked up some Fiberlicious Chalk Latte, spelt with 1 T. Jobelan 32 count. Let's see if this sun is going to wash this out. It's like a chocolate brown with splashes of yellow, orange, black. It's beautiful piece. I'm thinking I should, oh, there's a little bit of a red spot here which I might have to try and avoid. Let me see if it's on the other side. Yeah, a little bit. So I'd have to find something where that worked with that. But it's a chocolate, hold on please, maybe there. Maybe there, that's the colour. Almost. Loved it. It's a huge piece. Oh no, it's a 17 by 26 inch piece. That's it from me really. Sorry it's been a while. I've been busy. Life has been kicking my butt like it's been kicking everyone else's. We've been very, very lucky here in Queensland with COVID. So we've had very, very few cases here comparatively to other places like Melbourne who's having a lockdown at the moment. So I no complaints from up here at the moment. We're just plugging away really with the daily grind. But I've been diligently stitching. I've been enjoying it. To be honest, it really is my sanity. It brings me calm. As Jen from Quirks and Stitches finds, doing those little X's definitely gives me a bit of calm. But yep, I will make an effort to list everything I've spoken about today below. I will link everybody that I talk about, and that's it from me, guys. Happy stitching.